And we're live. Look at that. I cut the intro down to like 7 seconds that the people had to endure the little opening jingle. I promise we're gonna fix that at some point and get you something personalized. Anyway, David here with the Whiskey Rebellion, joined tonight by Gino. We are supposed to have a couple other folks come in. Don't know if that will happen or not, but we're here to drink and talk, just like we're at the bar, but the virtual bar. I can get to West Virginia, you can get to Tennessee. So here we are having a drink. I want to start off by kind of giving, I don't know, shout out's not the right word, but just to express. So my grandfather's got COVID. He's 97, almost 98 years old. He'll be 98 in July. And he was hospitalized today with COVID. He is vaccinated, which will help, but he's also 97. So that does not help. So I'm fairly worried about that. So I'll be raising a glass in his honor and trying to be good to myself a little bit, with a little Cafe 305 glass. You can kind of
there you
go. But anyway, so here's to you, Granddad. You've survived everything else. I believe you're going to survive this too. So hang in there and pulling for you. Now that that's out of the way, we're going to talk about, first of all, what are we drinking tonight? It's you and me, so this will be quick, but go ahead, Gina.
I'm enjoying some Redemption Wheated tonight. It's a very lovely bourbon. MSRP on this usually in the 30s. You find it most everywhere. I've tried their rye. I've tried their regular. But this one is the one that I enjoy the most. It's running at about 96 proof. Has a nice nutty flavor to it. I haven't quite identified which nuts, but I don't know, kind of like a walnut, almond, right in that range.
Okay.
But very delicious. I mean, it could be a nice daily sipper for someone if they wanted to try it out. But I just got too much here that I do sip on a daily basis. But this is an excellent bourbon, especially at that price point.
Yeah, for real. No, that sounds like a good one to pick up. I see them on the shelf. We were talking before we started. I have a store pick of I think their high rye, which I enjoy, but it is very rye forward, and it is a punch of rye. So if you're not into that, you might not like that as much. I do like Weeders though. So if I see that one again, I might have to grab it because just based on your recommendation. Tonight I'm drinking, and this will feed into the topic for tonight. This is the McKenna 10-year. This is, from what I understand, a somewhat divisive bottle, that people think it's overhyped. People think it's great. Some people don't like it at all. I'm sitting here with my first pour of it. I think it's great, honestly. I'm really enjoying it. This is a bottled in bond, so it's at 100 proof. It tastes a little bit hotter than that, not significantly, but it's not gentler than sort of your standard 100 proof. My experience with it, which is limited. This is single barrel. What I've come to learn about these is apparently they're all single barrel. And this is out of, I think, the Heaven Hill distillery. And it's good. It's got it's got sort of like I don't want to say standard because it makes it sound boring, because it's not. You get nice, like vanilla oak kind of notes on the front. Like I said, it is a little bit hotter. At least the experience is a little bit hotter for 100 proof. But it's lovely, and it fades into like more of like a sweet note, like a. Let me take another sip real quick. It's great. It's great television to stop talking while
it's all good
while I'm drinking. It's like it fades into like a sweeter kind of a note, and I can't quite put my finger on it. But it is really good. I recommend this bottle, generally speaking. And the question will be price, and we'll get to that in a second. Billy, sir, how are you?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
Doing okay. What's new with you?
Oh, man. It's crazy weather. It's officially started hurricane season.
Oh, lovely.
And the last 2 or 3 days, it's been absolutely horrible outside. So me and the wife have to put on our battle gear, and this weekend we got to go to Costco and get caught up on the hurricane supplies and elbow some people.
What counts as hurricane supplies? What do you get to prepare for a hurricane?
So for us, well, at least for the house, we already have the shutters on the house, so that's taken care of. water, batteries, flashlights, food,
Sure.
cigars.
Yeah, gotta
But believe it
survive.
or not, cigars are part of a hurricane supply, because if we do get something, whatever you have, if you
That's
don't
what you
have like
got.
some everyday sticks, you could be stuck with that for 2 weeks, because you got to imagine something like that. That place is not going to be priority, you
For
know.
sure, for sure.
And same thing when it comes to alcohol, and everybody's thinking the same things. And as weird as it sounds, believe it or not, alcohol and beer is for drinking, and water is for emergencies. If you're
I
gonna
can
be
see
stuck,
that. Yeah, for bottled water, sure. Yeah.
yeah. So if you think about it, just think about when the pandemic first started. How everybody was like, "Well, I can't go to work, or I'm going to work online, so I'm gonna have me a drink. Who's gonna know?" Everybody
Who's
saw you
gonna
from
stop
here
me?
up.
Right.
Yeah.
So you always make sure you had a steady supply of alcohol
Mm,
and whatever else, because sometimes you couldn't get it. Fortunately, the liquor stores here at least never closed. So, stuff like that, you got to
yeah.
make sure you have the power banks for your phone, propane. If you use propane, like I got to get some wood for my stick burner. And, good thing about that, like I'm really close with my neighbors. So if something happened where we did lose power, I would just invite everybody over, bring your food, for dinner. I would throw it on, let the smoker take its sweet Jesus time, and save
Nice.
all your essentials. But
Nice.
for us, it's a real thing. Today they were giving away sandbags. You
Mm.
know, so it's
That's
like one
wild,
of
man.
those things. Well, out in the Midwest, Tennessee, you guys have rough weather
Yeah,
sometimes.
I mean, we get the tornadoes. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's we
yeah,
have like every year basically. Like I think we went on vacation a couple of, I guess it was before the pandemic, but on a summer vacation, we came back and like there was a good bit of devastation in our backyard because of the winds. It wasn't even like our house didn't even get hit like directly by a tornado. It was just the heavy winds that were kind of around it, like damaged the fence, and we had this pergola thing that got destroyed, and my grill
yeah.
got destroyed. I mean, yeah, it's a real thing.
It's
Tornadoes
a
are real
real
around here.
thing,
Yeah.
And for myself personally, I survived Andrew. I was,
Um,
I think I had about so. I remember Andrew hit probably about an hour south of where I lived at the time. And I'm talking about trees that grew up with Jesus were just flipped over.
Hmm.
I
dang.
mean, and the destruction was from the Keys as far north as Palm Beach. And you looked at a neighborhood, and when they say it looked like the war zone, there was no exaggeration. The
No,
only thing that was standing were people's foundations. That was it. You
that's
know,
crazy.
it
Yeah,
destroyed the Air Force base down there, the malls, everything. So we do take our hurricane serious.
mm.
Hmm.
I've never seen too much direct devastation like in person. I've seen some damage and things like that, but nothing crazy. That must be, yeah, it's like looking at a war zone, you know?
Hmm.
It's
They're
it,
tore up.
and the problem is you're at the mercy. Put it like this: Andrew changed building codes in Florida after Andrew.
Yeah.
Sure.
You
Yep.
know, I mean,
Yeah.
insurance companies went bankrupt because
Yeah,
they were
because of
like,
the
no,
payouts, right? Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
it's different if a house burns down over here or a storm takes off 10 roofs, whatever. That's chump change to them.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about,
Like hundreds of thousands of homes.
Everything
Like,
gone.
yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah. It's wild.
yeah.
Anyway, tonight's we're full of downers tonight. I started the show by letting people know that my grandfather, who's 97, is in the hospital with COVID right now.
Wow,
So
sorry about that, brother.
I'm kind of freaked out about it a little bit, if I'm being honest. And I decided to kind of toast to his health and quick recovery.
Absolutely.
He's survived everything. He's been,
Yes, sir.
at Iwo Jima, and I mean he like everything. He's been through friggin' everything, and he's just kind of beat them all. So we're trying to be positive and hope he makes it through this one too. From what I
Absolutely.
understand, he's in good spirits, but we don't have too much information right now.
Well, and the one thing I will definitely say, David, and regardless of when you have family or friends who are falling ill, it always affects you. But to make it to that age,
Mm-hmm.
listen, they don't make them like that anymore.
No,
They really don't. They just don't make them tough like that anymore, and it's unfortunate, but as people, would not make the last that long anymore. You cost too much,
That's true, but at the same time, I have those ambitions because I have
absolutely
some good genes in my family that way. Because like my grandfather, who's still with us, obviously at 97, my grandmother on my other side, she made it till she was almost 98 herself, and she was also a July birthday. It's a little bit uncanny, like the juxtaposition of birthdays. So my grandmother's birthday was on July 5th. My grandfather, who's still alive, is on the 9th, and mine's on the 10th of July. So we're like all right there. And they made it to like super, super old age. And I want that too. Like I might need to start laying off this bottle a little bit if I'm going to get there.
Listen, and I always say this, you know what I love about people when they get old like that? I'll say it out loud. Old people aren't afraid of shit.
Nah.
But seriously, my grandfather, we went to the lake. I think it was actually the first year of the pandemic. We were all super careful, made sure we all got tested and stuff like that because we'd already like done the rental or whatever to go meet up at Deep Creek. It's not all that far from Robin. And my grandfather, he was like getting onto this boat because my dad rented a boat, and he like fell. my 95 whatever grandfather fell on the boat, and we're like, oh shit, we're going to the hospital. He just like bloop, like pops himself up almost like he was doing a burpee, like just boop back up on his feet, like I'm good, let's go. And I'm like, what the hell?
That's Granddad. That's in my neighborhood, by the way.
He's a tank. He's an absolute tank. So I've got faith in him. He's going to pull through.
Yeah, absolutely. Godspeed to him, man, for sure.
Thank you.
Yes,
I appreciate that. I want to maybe now transition to the topic tonight. I don't know if you got to see it or not, but it was talking about sort of like the allocated bump. And I'm not talking about secondary market, people flipping bottles, all this other stuff. But like when you see a bottle on a shelf of something, that's harder to find, it's allocated, it's more than MSRP, and it annoys you, but do you buy it anyway? Because I'll tell you, because I've done it I think twice in the last week. This first one is actually this McKenna 10, which I picked up. It is a good bottle. I paid $50 for it. I think the MSRP is mid-30s. I don't remember exactly off the top of my head, but I know based on the liquor store I was at, I know they were upcharging because that's how they roll. So I probably paid, I don't know, $15-20 more than like whatever the normal offering is. And like, is it worth it? And like, how much is it worth it? Another perfect example is, and it's because I had a friend over here not too long ago, and she was trying the Basil Hayden toast, the bottle you sent, or the dog shampoo that you sent me. And she like absolutely loved it. And I'm supposed to be going to the lake with her and her fiance, in a week, hopefully, if I don't get COVID. And like she absolutely, so I saw it on the shelf and I was like, I should really pick up another bottle of this because I know it's going to go over really well. We had this conversation last time about what do you bring to, big group thing or whatever. Like, so I think I ended up paying like $54 for this bottle of Basil toast, which I know the MSRP is like 30, 32, right?
Well,
I know it. I spent almost twice what it was worth, but like, I was like, I'm going to bite the bullet this time. But like, I saw many, many bottles in the last week that were just like that. It's like all stuff that I know you can get in like the 30s and 40s, and they're charging basically 20 over what MSRP was. And they're like, do you want any of these? Like they had Eagle Rare for, I think, 55, and they had, I want to say Smoke Wagon Uncut Unfiltered for, actually, I think that one was an okay price. I think it was about 80, which is, I think, what I paid for it the first time. I think normally you can get about 70, but anyway, so I was like, what do you guys feel about that? Like, what do you do when you see it?
Well, let me say this. We have a particular hobby that if you think about it, it is a luxury hobby along with cigars, or if you're a car collector or any kind of collectibles or anything like that. You have to imagine you are going to pay a premium at some point or another, unless, like you have with us, a community where we're not hung up on that.
Yeah.
So my whole thing is this: if you like the bottle enough, as long as you're not being raped about it, or let me say, as long as you're not being graped about it, well, you have to be careful nowadays. You get flattered.
You better watch out, Johnny.
Yeah. So my whole thing is this: let's say if we were getting together, and I know we wanted something in particular, because I know we could enjoy it and appreciate it, the price would not come into factor.
Sure.
Yeah.
Only because I want to create the memories more so than collecting a bottle. It's like when we get together, I'm gonna bring Blanton's Gold, and I will be severely disappointed if we don't dust that bottle off within the hour.
I hear you.
Because let's face it, holding on to it, it's not gonna do anything. It's about making those memories with the people you love and who can share and who can appreciate it. If I was going somewhere with a bunch of rookies, I get something that you can find anywhere. Like, listen, I'm a Michter's fanboy, but I know Michter's is a good one. It's easy to find it. It's not really that hard on the pocket. So I do a Michter's because if it goes, it goes.
Yeah.
For sure.
And as far as I don't look at it as me getting upset, because as a person who's in business, I understand you want to make money, and they're only going off the market,
Exactly. Sure. Supply and demand, man.
That's it. In my, not aging myself too much, but I can remember when Poppy was a bottom shelf type of bottle. My grandfather smoked cigars, often took me to the liquor store. Not that I can remember seeing a whole lot of Poppy, but I remember seeing it on the shelves. And he was like,
yeah.
And all of a sudden it became one of these things. I mean, if you look at us just as a group, we can get Eagle Rare, we can get Blanton's, we can get all these high-end stuff.
Gene's shaking his head. No, well,
when I say
hang
get
on,
it,
sir,
I mean,
you're in the VIP chat. Don't you? Yeah, we'll take care of it, man.
When I say
you let us know.
When I say we can get
all the
it,
dog shampoo,
it's like meaning we have access to it.
Yeah.
So if Gino wanted a bottle of shampoo, we could get it to him, and it wouldn't be about the money,
Right.
So for us, as much as we're able to get our hands on it, how often do you see one of us drinking Eagle Rare on the show?
Nah.
Because we're like, So we're a little bit jaded, but I don't see it as a reason to get mad or be bothered by it because the store just wants to make money.
You know what's funny about Eagle Rare, and I'll go to you, Gino, next.
That's okay.
But what's funny about Eagle Rare is the last couple of times I've been in restaurants, is actually, ironically enough, going out to dinner with Jody. We found Eagle Rare. There's you can get doubles of Eagle Rare for like $9 at a restaurant. Like, it's hard to find, on the shelf at a reasonable price. But there's, I guess for some reason, local restaurants, it's not that hard for them to get a hold of. I don't know if they get priority. I don't know what's going on there, but I'm like, I'm like Boomba's, which is like a chain restaurant around here. It's like pizza and calzones and crap like that. That's good stuff. But they've just got Eagle Rare, and it's $9 for a double. I'm like, okay, let's do that. We did that. I actually hung out with Jody yesterday. I don't know why he's sick today, but maybe he can't handle it.
That's probably why he's sick today.
Oh yeah.
Typhoid Mary hanging out with you, bud.
Yeah, apparently. I'm great though. I'm doing fine. So Gino, so tell me, give me your take on this. So you see something, you know what it's worth. You've even gotten it for less before yourself, or have been presented dog shampoo, and you know what your buddy paid for it, and then you see the same thing, and they want $20 or $30 more than what it's really worth. Like, how much does it chap your ass basically to go, you know what, I'll bite the bullet on this one.
It doesn't really bother me that much, depending on how much the markup is. It depends how much I want it, how often I see it, and do I think I can find a better price elsewhere?
That's a great point. That is a great point.
So if it's something that I don't see very often and I want it, I don't care what it costs.
No.
If I know that I have a friend who wants something, like Jody was looking for a particular dog shampoo that he couldn't find in his area, and he actually got some olive oil, I don't care what it costs. There was something that a friend of mine in Florida might like. Yeah, I think he might like this. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. And the only thing that bothers me is, if I've got something that's very expensive that I paid a lot of money for, and people are like, ugh. No. Or they'll polish off that bottle in no time without any appreciation to it.
Right.
That would bother me. As far as paying the markup, I can understand the markup. It's supply and demand, especially where I'm at. I don't see a lot of things of variety here. I guess most of the palates in my area have not adapted to, the better varieties.
For sure.
And so they get the mass produced stuff that all the little kids like to drink or people have known forever. But if I see something I want, if it's there, I haven't seen it in a while,
You
I'm
go
not
for
gonna
it.
look at the price.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, and the piggyback, and that's a great what he said, about the availability and if he wants it. I think for us, what makes our group so fundamentally better than a lot of other groups is a couple of things. One, we are spread out, but we kind of cover the country. You know, so for me, I think that's good.
Definitely.
And so if somebody wants something that I can get or I already have, it's all a matter of asking. We don't even hit each other up for shipping. How much?
Yeah. It's funny
than
when we first started doing this, there was like the Venmo thing that was happening of like, we help each other out. There's, either we're looking for reciprocity or, oh, it cost me this. Can you Venmo me XYZ because the dog shampoo shipping, and what have you. And now it's just like, you need that? Okay, it's coming your way. We don't we don't say any words about dollar signs anymore. Like, and I think that's awesome. And super appreciative of anyone who's kind of been generous with me, and I'm absolutely in a position now to pay it forward. So it's kind of putting that out there.
And for me, I've always looked at it as if it's something that somebody wants and I have no desire for, I'd be like, hey, I'll give you a phone call or a quick text. And for me, just personally, like when I wanted the Michter's 10 year. So I know there's nowhere in the universe you're going to find Michter's 10 year for like $50. It's a $120 bottle all day.
Right. That's
I
just
don't
how
care
it is. Yeah.
where you find it, whatever. So for me, I wouldn't ask somebody to put that for me. I say, hey, how much is it? And because it's, you don't abuse the membership.
Right. For a bigger ask. Right. Yeah,
Right.
for sure. Yeah.
I totally understand that. But to be something like, if I knew that you wanted it and you'd say, how much was that? I'd say, no, that olive oil had no price on it.
Yeah.
And see, the beautiful thing about that is nobody's keeping track. Nobody's keeping score. If somebody said, hey, listen, I wonder if you can get, this Blood Oats Pack 7.
Right.
You know what? I got you covered. Relax.
Yeah.
Listen, and, shout out to the Godfather Chuck. I mean, listen, I've never seen somebody make things happen as fast. And
real.
If Chuck says to you, listen, do me a favor, after the show, go outside and sit on your porch. And okay, you don't even say anything. You just go because magically it's going to be a drone fly over your house in the next 15 minutes and be like, here.
Wave of the future, man.
So, it's one of those things. But again, that's why I've never even entertained the secondary market.
No.
Not only that, but I think that's why we're kind of selective as to who we have in our group and who we have around. Because one thing that is consistent, everybody who's in can really appreciate what this group is about and what it stands for. We support each other. It's not always about business. We're concerned about each other's families. We're concerned about each other's friends. How you doing? What's going on?
Yeah.
Is the weather okay with you guys? If you're all right. I mean, and in the whole process at all, we might give you shit about it. We're gonna bust your balls about it, of course. But at the same time,
well, we don't do that here. That never happens to me.
You're right. I'm waiting for your buddy Dave to pop in there. He hasn't commented yet tonight.
Oh yeah, I forgot to tell him he may be busy with other stuff.
So that's why for us,
Tyrone,
why I love our group in particular. So for me, it's one of those things where, if somebody says, "Hey, I want sauce," Well, you know what? Just tell me what you want so you don't get hit for the shipping, because if you order online, it's an automatic thing, and just let me take care of you. You know? And it's just this thing that we have with our group, but unfortunately, I don't think that's a thing that happens very often in some of the bigger groups.
No.
It's too much of this, looking down at other people. And let's face it, there's not a person on this planet that will die without bourbon. I'm sorry. And if you're in this whole bourbon game, you have a certain amount of money allocated that is beyond what you need to live. Because let's face it, if you're passing bottles around or if you're buying bottles, I mean, listen, I don't even want to think about what I have wrapped up in alcohol. I really, really don't. I
will tell you one thing. I will tell you one thing as I'm approaching my retirement. Yeah, that's part of my budgeting for my retirement is my bourbon.
You're right.
Yeah, that's
one of the things I'm planning for.
Yeah,
exactly.
You got to pad that in because
absolutely. And I mean, and for us, I think it's all about. Sometimes we don't even ask. I mean, I've sent out a whole case of the Heaven Hill 7-year, a whole case, just sent it out.
Yeah, I've been hooked up multiple times without asking for anything. Like that's and that's I only it's not a keeping score thing, but it just keeps in my mind.
Keep score?
We're all in this. We all got to pay it forward, and I want to make sure I'm doing my part.
Right.
It's that more than anything.
And I mean, and we do it in different ways. David, when Jody's not around, you keep the show moving around. It's a beautiful thing.
Well, it's also too. It's like I was able to find something that Jody couldn't find.
Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah,
that's
a feat in itself.
He could not find it anywhere, and I said, "Dude, it's there on the shelf, gathering dust."
Yeah,
for a while, it was for me getting Eagle Rare was the same way.
Well, that's where it's currently at now, but.
Are you looking? Are you actively looking for Eagle Rare, Gene?
Not actively, but I'm always looking for it. I'm always asking.
Want a bottle of Eagle Rare? Is what I'm asking you.
There's someone that's already going to hook me up with some olive oil. As a matter of fact, he showed the olive oil package the other day.
So here's the deal.
That is one of my favorites, and I haven't been able to see it the last couple of years. It is such a good drink.
Okay, so Gina, what you need to do is you need to have a couple of people hook you up so you have a supply.
Right.
Because I have a supply, a couple other people have a supply. So if everybody sends you a bottle, you'll be fine.
Oh.
And that's really what it's all about. And David, I mean, I think the topic is great. It's just I would hate to be in a position where this started not to be fun anymore.
Right. No. Yeah, I hear that too. And I think I brought up the topic because it is something that I thought about and considered because I got choosy. Like, am I willing to bite the bullet on this bottle? Yes. Am I gonna? Because like I said, I got the basil toast, right? I picked it up, and I was like, but then I saw another one, and I was like, ooh, kind of want that too. I'm not going to pay more 20 over MSRP for it. Like I can't do both. I'm going to start to get choosy at some point, and that's what it really comes down to is what did it really feel like was worth it to me, even though I know I'm getting a little bit fleeced. Like I'm going to be all right because I know I'm going to bring something other people are really going to enjoy and have a good time with, and that's all that matters. And I for the show we did last week talking about what bottles we're going to pick, like I completely went against my own advice, like 100%. And I'm like, I'm going to bring the rain, man. I'm going to bring good bottles. People are going to really enjoy it, and if they don't understand, I'm going to teach them. Like they're going to have an appreciation by the time this trip is over.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, David. Again, think about the memories you're going to create.
That's
it.
Whatever you spent on that bottle is pointless if you try to take that amount from those memories, because you'll be cheating yourself. And not only 100%. That, but so if you have a trip coming up and you want to take something that you can't find, your resources, believe it or not, are ridiculous.
Yeah.
And we don't even have a large number of people in our group.
No.
But
and just
your
imagine.
Reach is so basically you can get anything in the country. Around the country.
Oh yeah, and especially with Mark because he's always all over the country.
Oh my God, Mark's everywhere.
I'm gonna have to bug him next time he's West Coast.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about that. But anyway, because there's stuff out there that I haven't seen this way. But yeah, man, like, yeah, I am super stoked about this trip. This time next week. So if Jody has another ailment, we're probably not going to have an episode. But like, between his damn toe and his stomach and everything else is wrong with him, that dude is falling apart. First of all, so yeah, no, I hope he's feeling better. But
yes.
But I'll be out next week because I'll be on the road.
Hey, I hope you have a great
Thursday.
time too.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
I mean, that stuff. You know, I'm looking forward. It happens every year. My reunion, my fraternity brothers, we're going to gather, and it's something I always look forward to every year.
Definitely.
And yeah, that's not until July, but I know exactly what you're feeling because I get that excitement, that anxiousness, waiting for it to get here.
Definitely.
It's awesome.
I got a week to go and I'm scud running, man. I've got, because we told you about the COVID stuff. I've got 2 coworkers, including my former supervisor and my current supervisor, are both sick right now. And I'm like, I ain't seen them because I was off Monday. So like I had like extended number of days where they've just been out. So I've not interacted with them. I feel like I'm pretty safe. But like, oh God, would it kick me in the balls to like get sick with COVID like right before I'm leaving for my trip? Because I feel like everybody around me's got COVID right now.
That'd be crushing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm just and that's, first world problems, right? Like,
absolutely. And again, like I said, I would hate it if this whole thing got to the point to where it stopped being fun, or to the point to where we stopped learning from each other. That's
the biggest draw.
Yeah.
When I first found this group, that was the biggest draw for me, was the knowledge and the knowledge gained. Hey, try this. This is awesome. This tastes like da-da-da-da-da, this and that. I mean, that was a big draw for me, and it just kind of sucked me right in. It was like, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I can tell you right now, again, I've said this before, but the stuff I've learned from just being a part of this group is, not only the friendship and the kinship, brothership that we've developed, but even speaking from a bottle perspective, I've probably at one point went 2 months where I didn't have to buy a bottle.
Yeah.
The wife would come home and she's like, "You got a package. You got a package. You got a package."
Dude,
like, what?
Dude, same. I was like kind of hard up financially around the beginning of the year, and y'all kept me going and kept me hooked up, and you guys kept me solid the entire time. So much love, absolutely.
Right. So, and again, it's one of these things with our group where we don't look down upon anybody because everybody goes through it. Listen, I mean, what I spend on shipping boxes around alone, it's crushing sometimes, supplies and, so again, you always have to prioritize,
True.
So, nobody's sitting on this show with $18 million burning a hole in their pocket where they don't care.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Tired, brother.
Yeah, exactly. So again, you say, would we be bothered? I think we would be bothered if we got into a situation where it wasn't fun, or somebody kind of detracted from the group. I think we would be more bothered by that and a total, because we've all seen the groups on Facebook and the stuff that they do, and we rag on each other, but it's all out of love. But if you like this and I think it's a drain pour, okay, so well, that's just our opinions, and that's it.
Your taste buds are not my taste buds.
Right, exactly.
So I think it puts all of us in a unique position. But even when I was in Virginia, I dragged the wife into a couple of liquor stores just to see what they had. Every time I go into Total Wines and stuff, I see something. If I see something interesting, I'll hit people up on the chat. Does anybody want anything?
Right. You got any intel? Yeah. Something.
Yeah.
Right. So. It's like the one time I walked into Costco and I saw the Behringer with the
the little yeah. It looks
I was ready.
Like a Derringer,
I was like, I'm ready. I'm gonna buy it. Until I hit up the chat and Chuck was like, and it's a cool bottle, but that's it. But just from that little piece of intel, it was a no-go because, so if you think about it, the group has saved me money. How about that?
Yeah.
That's true too. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Saves you from, those bad purchases.
Exactly.
The ones that you regret. And we all make mistakes. We all learn from. We all, not all, but many of us have done the, like the Willet pot stills or whatever. Like, you see it and it's cool looking and you buy it.
It's
and you
cool looking.
Regret.
It's right back there.
Yeah.
Every now and then.
I've done it too. Like I bought it as a gift. We've kind of told that story.
No, I enjoy it actually.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Well, there you go. See, but that's one of those ones that has like a level of infamy around it. But like, if your taste buds say green light, then who the hell cares if somebody else doesn't like it, right? So
that's not my problem.
That's not your problem.
So
exactly.
I think overall as a group, I don't think we would be mad. I just think, we're not so pressed to spend unless we absolutely positively know we can't get it, or like Gene was saying, get it for a better price.
Right.
I mean, and really and truly, can you beat the price of, okay, just wait a second and it'll be on its way Tuesday.
Right.
Or even if we say it's going to take me a week to get it out to you, but can you beat that price? You can't.
Yeah.
No,
for sure. So, yeah. I mean, case in point, I've already brought up, the basil toast, like, little bird named Billy made sure I got some dog shampoo that said basil hidden toast on it. And that's a price I will never see or beat from what I understand what you got it for.
Right.
And that stays
exactly.
in my, that kind of stuff stays with me.
A funny story like that was I actually went into my local store who I have a relationship with, and I saw it. So I hit up the chat, and I think it was Joe who said, yeah, I want one. So I bought it, and as I'm walking out to my car, somebody else said, hey, I want one. So
I think it was me. Yeah.
Went back in the store.
I'm pretty sure it was me.
So do you know, by the time I left that store, I had 4 of those things.
I believe it.
That's the same thing with the olive oil that I got for Jody.
Yeah.
I posted a picture to the chat, and he's like, I've been looking for that forever.
Yeah.
No problem.
I hear you. So when they let you do it, it's great. Because a lot of times they'll say, because like this one, it's like on the shelf, it's like one per customer kind of thing. So you can only grab one, but they don't always do that.
Yeah, but see, then there's me. I'll go in and buy the first one, and then my lovely wife, the second one.
Absolutely.
There you go. That's
and then
smart.
It's like
that's smart shopping.
Do I see anybody else in the parking lot that might help me out?
Right, exactly. And another thing, I look at it like this. I don't think there's anything that I have that if one you guys ask for, I would be willing to send off to you. It's just me and a wife here. I mean, and it was funny the other day. The wife was like, "There's nothing to drink in this house." I was like, "What?"
You're like, hang on a second.
I was like, "What?" And I did this thing, like I was pretending like I was talking to somebody else next to me. And I was like, did you hear what she said? So, and my wife, I don't know what to drink. I said, listen, anything in this house, open or unopened, you can drink.
Yeah, we don't hold nothing back. So David here, he said, as an audience member, I've learned a lot from all of you. I used to be just a Jack Daniels guy. I don't say that around Jody because it was a safe choice. Now I'm smarter and more adventurous in my choices. That's awesome. I mean, take a risk on things. Like I do that all the time. I'll see stuff that's like, ooh, I have one of those, but I'm low. Should I just get another one of these? But I see, I haven't had that. I should go to this instead. Cause like I think I burned up I think it was like a Maker's cast strength or something like that. I finished a couple weeks ago, and I saw one, and I was like, "Ooh, I need to grab one of these because I'm out. I want another one." Yes. But that's the same time I saw the McKenna, and I was like, "I've never had McKenna. There's some controversy around it, and I am buying it kind of blind. It's a little bit more than the other one, but like, I already know what the other one tastes like. It's going to taste the same. Like they're very consistent about that. I've never had the McKenna. I want to know." So let's go. And it doesn't always work out. It doesn't. This time it did for me anyway. Other people, have different palates, like Gene said, but like for me, absolutely worked out. I'm very happy I picked that up.
And another thing that I think I really do appreciate about us as a group, we interact with people on the chat or people who chime in, or even something that we post. And I think for people that goes a long way.
For sure.
It really does, because it's like you're talking to the source. Just this past weekend, one of my customers who I never met happened to be in the Keys. And he was like, hey, can you recommend a good place to eat? So I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. But I went a step further and I gave him my personal phone number.
Huh.
And I was like, listen, I know you're in town. If you need anything or anything happen, I know you don't really know anybody here, but if you need anything, here's my number. Give me a call. I mean, the whole trip was flawless. No problem. They loved the restaurant. But you know what that is, to have somebody be like, hey, here I am.
Yeah, I'm going to be,
it's
kind of be like a
touch.
like a host almost. You're there to to be that guide in a sense. And when you can be that person, when I get to do it, just in regards to like someone comes in, is Murfreesboro, Middle Tennessee area, whatever, or Nashville, they're like, where do I go? What do I do? And I can give them recommendations, and I get good feedback. I'm like, I feel successful in that. It's fulfilling to me to know that I help someone else have a good time. And it's the same with bottles and recommendations and stuff like that. It's like, let me see if I can help curate a good experience for you. And, when you get that positive feedback, it's very rewarding.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And speaking of which, just to change the subject real quick, and we can go right back. Happy birthday to Tennessee today. Today is Tennessee's birthday.
I know that. Rob.
My
What's
hero.
Up, sir?
There he is.
Is that a Russo? It's almost a Russo play. Apparently, I'm not allowed to say that word around certain people, but like I said it.
Yes,
I do what I want.
It's been that kind of day.
Dude, I hear you. I'm about to re-up myself.
How are we all doing tonight, gents? What are we discussing?
We were talking about when you see like that, the allocated bump, basically, when you know what a bottle is worth MSRP and you see it on the shelf, it's not behind nothing. You don't have to make no special deals. It's not secondary. But when you see it on the shelf and it's $20 over what it's worth, MSRP, maybe that's not necessarily what it's worth, because the question is, what is it worth to you? Is it worth to you to bite that bullet, generally speaking, or do you feel like you're being molested? Or you're being molested a little bit and you're okay with it because you really want the bottle? Like, where do you fall on that?
Huh. That's a good question.
Well, before Rob answers, let me say this.
Take a sip, sir, and think about it.
Before Rob answers, I want to say this. I am so proud that I sent enough of Alabama Slammer that Rob can have his own bottle. Mm-hmm. The wife can have her own bottle. I love that.
By the way,
therapy.
Is that on the website yet?
No. So at this point,
you don't need marriage counseling. You need Alabama Slammer.
But here's the thing, if you want it, just let me know. I'll take care of you. So when you start something like that, they will let you kind of go renegade for a certain period of time. But after you hit that number, you have to have all your ducks in a row before you can put the label and put it on the shelf.
Gotcha.
Right.
And I'm fortunate because of the way COVID and everything else, the process is super slow now.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah,
I need to hit you up. Speaking of Billy, afterwards, I'll hit you up in a messenger.
Okay.
Because I need sauce.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it'll be in order for me this weekend. By the way.
Okay.
Need a resupply, my brother.
And if you want Alabama, just let me know. I got you guys covered.
We will have
I made grilled cheese. I was dipping grilled cheese in the Slammer sauce, man.
That sounds so freaking good right now.
It does.
Listen, you guys have no idea how proud that makes me. Because now it's like, okay, this guy's becoming my dealer. I gotta put this guy on my budget.
He's a pusher, man. Yeah, he's the guy. When you're hawking, he's the guy you planted in the crowd. To be like, I had the Alabama Slammer. No, I don't need the crutches anymore.
That's just for real, man.
You know,
That
to the
shit is
point.
for real.
Yes,
Listen,
it
to
is.
the point to where he's like, "Listen, honey, I love you, but here's your bottle. I'm taking my
This is
bottle to
mine.
work. Don't touch it. Don't think about it." I was like,
It's
"Yes."
my ball. No.
Too funny.
Alabama Slammer could be in a divorce decree. Listen, no, we got to split the Alabama down the middle. Don't you even think about it.
That's what I just Russo poured. I
Leave us
Oh,
fork.
the lead. Oh, you really went in for it.
Oh,
Okay.
Jesus.
killed it.
Nice.
see.
Nice.
I,
It was
and,
almost
you
a,
know,
it would have been a
envy
Russo
people.
pour if there's any more in the bottle. But that was everything. That's as close as you could have got.
It's as close as I could have got.
Without adding water.
Beautiful. So I'm thinking about the answer to that question, and yeah, I mean, I know most of the MSRP prices and the way they should be, and it for me, it's going to come down to, do I want it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, am I going to pay $39 or $49.99 for a bottle of Eagle Rare now? Yeah, I'm probably going to pull that trigger. That's
You said for how much?
$49.99.
Yeah, I was, like I said, I was telling them kind of at the top of the show that I'd seen a great number of bottles over the last few days because I've been to a few different liquor stores, and like I've seen, like I saw Eagle, knowing that it's been sent to me by a dog shampoo. I've also seen it on the shelf at like 32, right? But then I saw it like literally yesterday for, I think it was like 55, and I'm like, that's a little more than I can stand. Now, if I've never had it and I've never had my own bottle, I'll be like, fuck it, fine, let's go. But like having had it and being able to get it at 30, it just stings just enough to have kept me away. Is kind of where I fell on it. But like, does that matter to you? If you know, like if you've gotten the same bottle at one price and you can only find it again at a, you know, not marginal, a significant uptick. Yeah.
At a non-secondary, you know, an extra 15
right. It's
or 20
non-secondary.
bucks.
Yeah, it's there on the shelf in the store.
I'm probably, yeah.
If you like it enough, yeah, for sure. Because like I was thinking, like if I had gotten McKenna at 30, which is I checked while we were talking, like 30, 32, and then I see it for 50, I'm like, I'm gonna be a little bit irritated. I might, but I'll be a little bit irritated. But then I saw like Buffalo Trace was also 55, and I'm like, fuck no, I'm not doing that.
Buffalo Trace.
I like Buffalo Trace. Okay, I don't like it that damn much. Like,
yeah, no, that I ain't pulling the trigger on a Buffalo Trace at that price.
It was like 54 or 53, something like that. I'm like, no,
it's $20 at Costco.
Right, and they're trying to get basically $57 after tax. Like, like so there is a point or a line we all get to that we don't want to cross. And that was kind of like, I guess, the real underlying question of like what gets you to that point. You're going, I'm not going to go quite that far, and it's basically, I guess, comes down to just how wowed you are by the bottle.
Yeah.
Yep. That's pretty much how I feel. You know? It's going to be something that is that I at $49.99 I'll drop it for Eagle Rare because I really enjoy it. Mm-hmm. By the way, Billy, I was giving yesterday. I was at my smoke shop, and the guy goes, "You're into bourbon, aren't you?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "We just got in the new Eagle Rare. We got in the new Eagle Rare cigars. I didn't know. I've seen Buffalo Trace. I've seen the Pappies, but I hadn't seen the Eagle Rare. So he gave me one. I got it sitting in the humidor waiting till I'm actually off on a night and I can sit on the back porch and smoke it. Enjoy it with an Eagle Rare.
I will not tell you. I will not give you my opinion because I'm going to let you have it under the right environment. And then you tell me what you think, and then we'll compare notes.
Okay.
There you go. By the way, if anyone who just watched that exchange, that's how you not bias someone else's palate. What he just did is the right way to have that conversation.
And like I said, the only thing I will tell you is have it under the right environment. Good peaceful day. Don't let nobody ruin your vibe because I'm real big on that. So
I'll have it with that.
There you go. Absolutely.
He wasn't sure, and I've not seen. Are they actually putting those sticks in an Eagle Rare barrel to finish them?
From what I understand, yes. Like it's not a gimmick or a publicity stunt. Like they brought in real people, and their selection of tobacco was quite high.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I know I've smoked a few Maker's Marks back in the day, and I mean those were obviously aged in a bourbon barrel. They were a little pricey though. Even back in the day when I first started, they were a little pricey for what they were selling them for. So
right. You know what though? I had the Pappies and I was not impressed.
Yeah, the guys in the shop were saying that they had one or two of the Pappies, and they were like, nah.
And you know,
selling the brand.
If you're a real cigar guy, you know it's not easy to impress a cigar guy. If it's a gimmicky thing, we can almost sense it out almost from the beginning. You know, it's like so. As much as I love cigars, me putting a Cafe 305 label on a cigar is not going to do anything for my company. It's not going to do anything for my customers because everybody knows I'm not hand picking tobacco leaves, and it's obviously somebody else's.
It's a gimmick, yeah.
Right. So what I think happened with the Pappies is it was kind of an exclusivity, a club with the Pappy itself.
Let me use your name to make an extra $20-$25 a stick.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly.
But with the Eagle Rare, it was a very different thing. That's all I'm gonna say. Cool. I'm not gonna give you any more than that.
And I think they're charging $10.95 a stick for that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's right about the price range that, you know, for as long as I've been smoking cigars now, obviously the prices have gone up.
Right.
You know, that spending $9 to $12 on a stick is about where I am these days.
Same. Absolute same. Absolutely. And you know, the thing with the tobacco now is, you know, it was a few years back, you know, the Food and Drug Administration was trying to get involved with regulating cigars, and they left all that alone. But it scared a lot of the cigar makers. Like it was going to almost be to the point to where an average stick was going to be $12, $14.
Oh yeah.
You know? And
I'm talking a lot of them.
Yeah, and you know, in a place like Virginia, add that to the tobacco tax, and you're talking about a stick that should be $7. It's going to be close to $7. Yeah, it would have been ridiculous. You would have been out of business in a year, if that. But with the Poppy cigars, they were running close to 23 here.
Yeah, I think they're $24.95 or $25.95. He's got two or three different sizes in his selection.
And in my personal opinion, not worth it at all.
No,
at all.
There are not a lot of cigars I'm going to go drop that kind of money on.
The only cigar I will drop that kind of money on is a Padron Adversario, 1926, number 9. It's $23 anywhere you go. It's consistent. I've never had a bad Padron. That's all I can tell you. Never.
Yeah, I would do it. I would probably drop it on a Padron, and probably there's a couple on the Fuente Opus X side that. Yeah. I would. Thank God the wife is 2 floors up that I would drop that kind of money on.
That's hilarious. Guys, I got to ask you a question. So I hung out with Jody yesterday. You know, again, he got sick with something that I don't have. So again, wish him a speedy recovery. We hung out. We had dinner. We had drinks. We went to see a movie. Saw the new Top Gun. Great movie, by the way. I had a lot of fun. But we were sitting there during the previews, and, you know, he likes to dip. He puts those little pouches in. And he talked me into trying one. In about 15 minutes, I had to spit that fucking thing out because I was like, I'm feeling a little
Wait,
sick.
I thought he stopped dipping. I thought he was doing the fake shit.
I don't know what the hell, but it's a little pouch. It's not just dip that you're like packing in there. It's a little pouch, and you get in the can or whatever. I don't know if it's Rogue or whatever the hell it is. But like, I put it in there, and it burns, and I'm like, oh, was it a little fiberglass or whatever going on? But like, and it's just the nicotine. I turned into a complete. I'll just say it this way, and I hate to use sexist language. I turned into a little bitch. Right, is what happens. Because I just can't handle the nicotine. Right, and because you get like the jittery and the stomach starts to feel a little nauseated and stuff like that. I'm a little like this isn't a good time anymore. Like I don't know how to get over the hurdle of that because and maybe I don't need another terrible vice in my life because I got plenty.
No, you don't.
Start.
let me say this, David. First of all, you didn't become a little bitch. Listen, the first time I did dip. It was like, okay, I will never do that again. And I haven't gone back. I've done it once. And I'm talking about the stuff you pack in.
Yeah.
But when you do that, it's a direct injection. Yeah. Basically. Even with the pouch. The pouch is just so it's not rolling around in your mouth, Yeah,
the mess. Yeah.
Right.
Mess it between your teeth, all that good stuff.
It is basically a step away from direct injection to your veins when you do that. Yes, it really is. So when it hits you fast and it hits you strong. Even so, let's say one of my boys who's not a cigar smoker. Hey, I want to get into cigars and I want to. All right, sure. Here's this Padron 7000. Listen, in 45 minutes he's going to be over in the bushes cursing my name.
Right, and that's why I'm not even bringing cigars to the lake because like that's how I get like I'll be good like I can drink all damn day and like it's a good time and all that stuff. I have one cigar, it's over. My whole night is over at that point because by the time I've got to the end of it, I'm like,
think of it
like you look really angry, David. Like what's the matter? I'm like,
think of it like this, Dave.
I'm gonna go sit in the shower for an hour and like just try to like recover my brain, like and not feel sick anymore because
nicotine is like the ethanol. When you first started drinking, think about that. When you first started drinking, could you drink what you're drinking now?
No, but I also weighed like 100 pounds. So
but that doesn't really matter. It's the same thing with the nicotine.
I know
it's the same thing with the high grade cigars. You're just jumping right off into the deep end, not knowing how to swim.
Right. Yeah, because I don't smoke cigarette, and I never will. Like smoke a cigarette or something that's got like a lower level of nicotine in it. It's like a cigar is like a finer experience, and I enjoy the smell of cigars, and I enjoy the smell of like pipe tobaccos, and I've tested those out. And for a while, when you're doing them, okay, but by the time like I've been at it for like 45 minutes or an hour, I'm like, oh no, this is too much. Like I've gone too far with this.
Exactly. And it's like say you're just wanting to get into bourbon. And that bourbon Jody was talking about last week, what was it, Optimum or something like that?
Obtainium, yeah.
Obtainium.
I've seen it out there. Like it's very
first drink
available.
Of bourbon right there, bud. It's a mud proof.
Yeah.
You'd probably never touch it again.
Like 9 or something like that. Yeah, it's like
that's kind of what you're doing if you're going to have
alcohol. Yeah,
the Padron.
Right, and I think you have to be considerate. One word for you: tolerance. So if it's me, you, and Rob, we go into a cigar shop, and we pick up some heavy hitters, and I'll just get one of them. I'm sure because we like you, or at least we pretend to. We'll be like, listen, there's this cute little cigar over here. It's a Connecticut. Try that out. You're not built for this life yet.
Go over look at that Macanudo.
Yeah, exactly.
See, that's what I need. Is like, what are the little baby ass cigars that aren't like they're not terrible quality, but like they're not gonna
starter cigars.
So a starter cigar
between my shoulder blades
would be like a nub. So it's a fairly short cigar.
Okay,
or
really short.
Refer to as a short story, and you want to start with something like a Connecticut, which is really light. The wrapper is even light in color itself. It doesn't have any spice to it. It just has some nice aromas to it. A Macanudo,
a Zeno.
Yeah, something along those lines. Only because I wouldn't want to put you in that position where it's going to ruin the rest of your evening, especially if you've already eaten, because now you're finna lose your dinner.
Yeah, eating and drink. Like I'll hold on to it, and I'll wish I had just gone ahead and not hold on to it, because I know I would have felt better. But I'm the fighter. Like I'll just keep going. Like I can make it. Just drink some more water. I'll be okay. I'm gonna take a shower. Like just fight the whole way through and be like,
no, because
I know I will feel better if I'm like, it's been too much. I should just go puke. Like,
well, yeah, but the thing is this, it's along those same lines of drinking responsibly.
Yeah.
If you're with me and Rob, we're not gonna let you do that to yourself, because we only know better. But if I'm gonna go pick out a cigar for Rob, I'm not gonna pick a Kinetic for him, because that's not gonna do anything for him.
Right.
He's probably along the same lines of the same thing. So, a Camacho, a Padron, things like that, Opus X,
LSD double Lajero.
Yeah, see, that boy's talking heavy. Rob's a heavy hitter, but that's all over time.
Yeah, and that one is even one that I have to I have to go into it with having eaten a meal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because even that one I'm a fairly experienced cigar smoker. That one will knock me on my ass if I'm trying to do it on an empty stomach. It's like getting stoned, man.
Yeah. And even when I have the Padron 7000, I take my time with it. I'm not rushing the process. I will take a full 45 minutes to an hour easily. I'm drinking water, keeping hydrated, fresh air, the whole nine. It's just not something to be played with. And not only that, but I would not let you spend, for me personally, unless I was buying it, I'm not going to let you spend more than $6-7.
Right.
You're not going to know what to do with a $24 stick.
Right. Absolutely. It would be a waste on me.
The same thing we were talking about, appreciating a good bourbon.
Exactly.
So you don't care about the price. Yes, I would, I spend, $25 for Opus X for Rob. Yeah. Absolutely. Wouldn't even think about it, because he can appreciate it. He can handle it.
For sure. Yeah,
but for me to do that to you, it's just wrong, because one, you won't appreciate
it's a waste, and I'll have a bad time. Right. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. It's like Obtainium, or like, just as something that's high proof, but like, you busting out Stag Senior for someone, this is like their first sip of bourbon. Like, you wouldn't do that to somebody. They're not going to like it, and it's going to be a waste of good liquor. Like, and if they had a different approach to it, right? If they did appreciate it, even if it was a little bit much, like, even then it would be different. But like, they're going to have a bad time on Stags, because most of them that are in the high 120s or 130s, like, proof wise, like that's a bad time for someone who doesn't know how to handle that. Because like, when I talk, if it's like you guys, most of the people I talk to are not big like bourbon folk. Like, they're people who are like, they're just in that transitioning phase of like, we're getting away from wine coolers, we're getting away from liqueurs. We want to know what actual liquor tastes like. Good rum, good whiskey, maybe even good vodka. I don't even know, but we'll keep it to whiskey and rum, because that's my wheelhouse. Like, they're trying to get into that stuff, and it's like, well, how do I start you into that in a way that's not going to give you a bad time? And it's the same thing with the cigars for me. I'm like, what's the what's lowering the floor enough that I can get in on it, basically. Is where I'm at. Right. So I like those recommendations. I took notes on it. So
Macanudo.
How the hell do you spell that? Because I took a stab at it.
Macanudo. Macanudo.
Macanudo.
Yep.
Macanudo.
I just stuck with nub. That was easy.
Yeah. Macanudo. I'm gonna put in parentheses nub.
Sammy, who started.
We'll walk into my cigar shop and be like, "Hey guys, I'm a wuss bag. What do you got?"
No, but here's the thing, David.
I'm
a lot of times,
self-effacing.
When somebody says, "Hey, I want to smoke a cigar with you," a lot of times they want to smoke what you smoke, And unless there's somebody who I know is a real cigar smokers, I have 5 humidors on my house. You know, and I have stuff that no, don't touch that. Leave that alone. Right. Over here to this box, and you can have anything in there. And then I have one. It's like you can have anything except what's on the top shelf of that box.
Right.
You know, so it's no. I mean,
and it's not. And what I like about that, and I know this is your philosophy too. It's not. This is too good for you, but like you're not in a place where you're gonna enjoy that experience.
Yes,
is all it really is. And I'm that way too, because I'll open up my cabinet and be like, here's all my liquor, y'all pick something. And if someone picks something that's like, oh, you're not gonna have a good time with that, let's go with something else, you know. And that's kind of how I do.
All right. And again, it's one of those things where if I give somebody who's not a real cigar smoker, even an average cigar, and they get halfway through it and put it in the ashtray and just let it fizzle out, I'm gonna kind of be like, why are you at my house again?
See, that kind of judgment. That's exactly what I'm worried about. Being like, oh God, I got to put this shit down. Like, no, I don't want to be that guy. Like, I don't. And
no, so
that is where I'm at currently.
I will give you something that if you smoke halfway through it, I'll be satisfied. But a lot of time it's people who want to pose in a picture, and, you know.
Yeah.
And Rob can attest to this. The cigar shop that I go to, if you walked in and asked for a Black and Mild, somebody's going to ask you to leave.
Black and Mild, huh? That's a
yeah. That's a marsh wheeling.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey guys, so we're pushing. It's funny. We just got a big uptick in viewers, but anyway, because I'm about to call the show.
Uptick in viewers, we're going to call the show.
Yeah. More people are paying attention to us. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, we're at 107.
Oh, you got here too late. Sorry, we're done.
Yeah.
So, no, I've really enjoyed this conversation. We can keep it going a little bit in the after show, but I did want to call the live show.
Happy I was able to get in and catch the end.
Rob, it's always great to see you, man. It really is. Glad you can make it. I know you had a long day at work, and then
13 and a half.
Long ass day. I've been there and I don't like it either. So, but yeah, guys, thank you for coming on, participating, sharing your wisdom, especially with the cigar talk, because that's, you know, that's a great opportunity for me to learn from you guys who know way more than I do. And you know, I enjoyed the topic. All this stuff. If you are watching, tell your friends about us. Tell them about the YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, hit the little bell so you get the notifications when we come on. If I was going to do Jody, you know the thing. You know the thing. You hit the thing, and then it does the bell. Yeah, that thing. Do that. And Whiskey Rebellion, Cafe 305.
Oh, yes.
Up here, you need more contrast.
Right there,
there you go. There you can see it. There you go.
There you go.
I love you guys. Always great hanging out and drinking with y'all.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, be good to each other, huh?
There it is.
All right.
You guys take care. We'll see you next time.
Later.